Perfect. Okay. Yep, and we're over 6 weeks. That's okay.
Here we go. Mace, you got to come back into the locker room.
Come here, Mace.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the 5A Division II press conference. We are joined with Coach Jerry Prieto of the Crosby Cougars, and we also have Reggie Branch, number 1. We'll also have another student athlete after this one. And yeah, so Coach, do you want to start us off with any opening statements about this game and also, your incredible journey to state this year?
Yeah, most definitely. Obviously, the sting of this one is very present right now to these kids. But one day they're going to really look back on what they accomplished. And I'm not just talking about the wins on the field. These kids brought a community together, and they brought a community together in times of turmoil for our country. When we have a whole lot of adults that can't get it right, that don't understand how to bring unity together, and this football team did. And our community had been hurting for a while, and these kids brought them back together. And I mean, that's something that they won't understand that right now. It's going to take maybe even years for them to really understand it. But they're champions. Man, these kids are champions. What they did goes far beyond the football field and will have longer lasting impacts than this one football game would ever have.
Thank you so much. At this time, we can open it up for questions from the media. If you do have a question, I think there's about 9 people on the call, so we'll just have you unmute yourself whenever you do have a question, and we just ask that you go ahead and mute yourself once you're done asking the question. Okay.
Hello, Coach. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
This is Daniel Gotera, KHOU in Houston. Hey, congrats on an awesome run, fellas. What really brought this team together, and what's the one thing that you take away from a group like this that accomplished so much? And Coach, you can start, and then Reggie, go ahead.
Okay. I really do. I think it's the culture of family that these kids have bought into and developed. We don't have a kid, even though I think this one next to me and a couple of others that I have should have some stars next to their name, but we don't have a kid with a star next to their name. We don't have a Power 5 kid or anything like that, although, like I said, I think some colleges are understanding that they missed on this kid. But the unity and the bond that these kids have, they fight for each other. They pick each other up. And that's how we've been able to go on the run that we have and beat some what are seen as more talented teams than we are. It's the culture of family that these kids really bought into and developed.
Now, Reggie, if you don't mind asking, like, what made this so special? Like, what was so fun about this group of guys? I know it's tough right now. Obviously, you lost, but I mean, when you think back some of the things you guys were really able to accomplish, it's pretty amazing. You guys aren't going to be forgotten there for a long time.
Yeah, it's like Coach said. It's a big family around here. It's a brotherhood around here. We're all putting it on the line for each other. We're all fighting for each other. We know the person next to us is going to go as hard as he can go for the person right next to him. That's what makes it so special. Everybody's fighting for each other and try to accomplish the same goal as everybody else on the team.
I'll ask, I guess, one more. What did it feel like for each of you to take that field today? Everybody talks about getting to Arlington. Everybody talks about the bright lights of the state title game. But what were the emotions like as you guys walked onto that field and you ran onto that field?
It felt very good. Not a lot of people get the opportunity to be here and play in a big stadium like this. It was just a good opportunity for us to go out there and play in front of our fans, in front of a big crowd. We didn't want to just get there. We wanted to get the win as well and take the ring home with us. But unfortunately, that didn't happen today. But we got a good experience out of it.
And Coach, just you. I mean, you've been with these guys all along, and you look in the stands. It wasn't packed like it usually is at the state title game, but I mean, how cool is it to see that red and white, this group that you put in so much work with be on this level?
Yeah, it was special. You know, it's something that I'll take with me for the rest of my life, and hopefully these kids do as well. It definitely was an amazing experience. Obviously, the outcome wasn't what we wanted, you know, but at the end of the day, there was only one team in 5A Division II that was better than us, and they were today. But just awesome experience for our kids and our community, man. They showed up and supported us, and you know, obviously, if you didn't have all the COVID and procedures and everything like that, I bet we would have put some more people in the stands. But just an amazing experience to take part, and one I'll never forget.
Thanks, guys.
Tommy Mogelson with the Dallas Morning News. Coach, questions for you. What were your thoughts on DeMarco Roberts' performance with 6 rushing touchdowns tonight?
Yeah, you know, he was huge. You know, it's tough. You know, there's a lot of different things to try to take away for them offensively. And, man, that kid plays a whole lot bigger than he is. And obviously you see it on film and everything like that, but we saw it in person today. And, you know, there was a lot of times where he ran through some tackles. It wasn't all just running through wide open holes. He ran through a lot of tackles tonight, played really hard, and, you know, he deserved the offensive MVP.
Thank you.
Coach, what will y'all remember most about this season?
You know, for me, it's just the joy of watching some high school kids just do some really special things that were way bigger than football. You know, like I alluded to earlier, the stuff that happened with our community and everything, you know, is much bigger than football. And, you know, it's something that these kids will grasp later, but just extremely proud to be a part of these kids. I think everybody that's watched these kids all year has come away with the same deal. These are tough kids. They're resilient kids. They don't quit. They fight for each other. They fight hard. And, you know, when you do things like that, you give yourself chances to win football games.
Any other questions?
Hey, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is Adam Coleman from the Chronicle. I'm not sure if this question has already been asked, but just the connection with Liberty Hill. I think they had some players in the stands today, and just getting to know them over the last few weeks. You know, how much did they mean to you guys, and what has it been like just kind of connecting with them over the last few weeks, considering what they've been through?
Yeah, you know, we talk a lot to these kids about so many more things are just more important than football. But we also talk to them about how sports has always been a healer. It's always been a healer in our community, in our country, and it will always continue to be as long as we have kids like this that go out there. You know, I got one right next to me now, and Daniqua's done, and man, a heck of a kid. Plays his tail off, competes his tail off. But he's got a lot of compassion and respect for all of his opponents as well, and people have seen that all throughout the playoffs.
Coach, this is Manny Diaz with San Angelo Live. Talk about your QB1 that's sitting right next to you, and you know how much of a role he played certainly in that first half.
Yeah, he's huge. In the Huntsville game, you know, he went down with a pretty good ankle injury. He didn't play the fourth quarter, and he hasn't been 100% since then. But there's never been a doubt in my mind that he's going to get out there and he's going to make plays. He's a special player. He's a special competitor. You know, he wants the ball in his hands, and he wants to make plays when he goes out there, and he does. He keeps fighting. He's up there pumping kids up on the sideline. You know, 2 minutes left in the game. You know, we're down, whatever, 56-21, and he's still a positive role model on the sideline for us.
Yeah, for the Negroes, I have a quick question. Just, what was it like going through this playoff run? Just the undefeated teams. It was just, I feel like maybe you guys had the toughest run in the playoffs compared to any other team. But what was it like kind of getting through this run, the thrilling games, especially Liberty Hill? What was it like getting through those teams again to this point?
It felt good winning the games and sending other teams home. But again, we worked hard for it. So it all made sense in the end. We grinded our tail off. We had a bad COVID outbreak that kind of set us back. We missed a whole bunch of workouts to work out with each other, but we still found a way to put in the work. And just us coming together and making a long playoff run was special for the community and us as a whole. And we really enjoyed the run that we had.
All right. Thank you both so much, and congratulations on an amazing. Oh, Joe, did you have a question?
Hey, Coach, I'm sorry. I kind of was listening to this music in the background here. What did you tell your team after the game? Huddle them all together there. What was your message to them?
Yeah, and we didn't get a whole lot of time to talk to them, but the first thing I wanted those kids to know is I loved them. I loved them and I'm proud of them. I told them, obviously the sting right now is pretty deep, but one day they're going to look back on this and they're going to see what they did for this community, and they're going to take a whole lot of pride in it. I told each and every one of them they're champions. They're always going to be champions, no matter what that result was today. What these kids have done this year, they're all champions.
Can you just talk a little bit about? Can you see the fact that this was an unbelievable run in the playoffs, and you guys accomplished like something that was just unbelievable? I know it's hard right now because it's so soon, but can you feel that?
Yes, sir, I can feel it. I understand that we had lost, but we played with a lot of heart and we fought to the end. And when the score got out of hand a little bit, we still fought. We didn't quit. That just showed the grit that we have. We worked hard. We came up short. Kind of disappointed in that, but somebody got to win, somebody got to lose, and we happen to take the L on this one.
Great one. Well, I enjoyed following you guys. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you both so much. Congratulations on your outstanding season. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
It.
All right. Next we'll have Alito, and they'll be here. It'll probably be a couple minutes or so for them to clean the room.
We lost a couple of them.
What's up, man? I saw you there. I didn't say nothing, but hey, how you doing? Yeah.
Reminder, when you're not asking a question, please be sure to mute your microphone. All right, we are joined with the Alito Bearcats and Coach Tim Buchanan. We've also got number 29, Caden Anderson, with us. And with that, I can go ahead and open it up for questions. Reminder, just unmute yourself, and as soon as you're done, go ahead and mute your microphone again.
Hey, Coach Buck, it's Gossett. Just talk about winning your 10th state title and becoming the first school to capture 10.
Well, the biggest thing is that it didn't start tonight. It started, back in 1993. And when you look at the people who were the foundation of what we've done, those guys, they didn't get any rings or medals or anything like that. Think about, as I said earlier, Jeff Short, Drew Proctor, Coach Don Hasley, Coach Greg Ennis, those guys. And then as we started improving and getting better and stuff, and Jim Yankee and Steve Wood, golly, I mean, we don't do what we've done without Steve Wood and Robbie Jones. So that's what I think about it. That's what makes it so special.
Coach, you mentioned Wednesday that you wanted to slow down Crosby's offense early in the game. Obviously they scored on their first 2 drives, but you guys turned it around with a 42-0 run. Just what changed?
Well, our kids kind of got used to the speed of the game. It's hard to simulate guys that can run like Crosby does. And 1 and 2 are fast football players. They're really good football players, and they're a really good football team. So it took us a little while to get used to the speed of the game, and we had to make a few little adjustments. And it worked, and we were able to shut them down.
It's deja vu all over again, talking about DeMarco Roberts. He just outdoes himself week after week, and he caps off, goes out with 6 touchdown runs. Just talk about his game and this playoff run for him.
Well, he's a little disappointed with me right now. He wanted to break Jonathan Gray's record in the state championship game. But now DeMarco, number one, he understands that none of that happens without our offensive line. Those 6 guys on that offensive line that are really good football players and do a great job of finding ways to get him into the second level, a linebacker and defensive back level.
And can you take me through that fake punt?
Well, they had blocked several punts, and we knew that they would come after us. And Clay Murador, people don't realize he's the fastest kid in Aledo High School. Literally, he is as a freshman last year, he could outrun everybody. He could outrun DeMarco, BJ, anybody we put out there. So what we talked about is if he saw the rush coming and he did not feel that he could get the punt off, that he should take it around the left side, because I felt like that was the side that we could expose what they were doing and I don't think they thought he was new. They didn't realize how fast he was. And it was the play that changed. I'm saying that was probably the play that changed the game right there.
Coach James Harris with Inside High School Sports. Congratulations, first of all, but also could you, this is your 10th championship. There's a lot to be said for the tradition that you guys bring into this game, and it looked like at some point that just overwhelmed a team like Crosby that really hasn't been on this stage. How big is it to have, the tradition and the experience and the know-how that you guys bring into a game like this?
Well, where it helps you is when you have guys like Caden, who's played in multiple state championships. Caden's played in a state championship every year, even when he was a freshman. And that's it. The stage never gets too big. When they walk out onto the field and they walk into Cowboy Stadium, that right there gets them extremely excited and things. Where our kids, we've done it. We've been there. But then again, I don't want to sell our kids short, because we've got a good football team. And I think that our football team would have won the football game regardless of how many state championships we've won previously or where we were playing.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach. Robbie Fueling with Spectrum News. You didn't get a Gatorade shower when the clock hit 0, but then when you were doing an interview down on the sideline, everyone came over, started dumping water on you. What was that like?
Cold. That's the first time in a long time that I've gotten a water bath at the end of a game, and felt really good. But I'd prefer not to get them, but it's a lot better than not getting one because you didn't win the football game. So it felt good.
And for DeMarco, kind of talk about just him as a player, just over the past 4 years, and what he's like just as a teammate, as a player, and as a person?
Yes, Caden now.
Yeah, both of you.
Go ahead, Caden.
DeMarco, he hypes up the team every game, even in practice. I don't see a single ounce of negativity in him. He's always positive, no matter what the score is. Lovejoy game, we're down by 10 points, and he's as positive as he is when we're up 20 points. He's probably one of the greatest teammates I've ever had, and he never stops working hard. He's always pushing everybody else around him.
Thanks, guys.
John Collins with the Dallas Morning News. This question's for both of you. When it comes to integrating Braden Fowler Nicolosi into this team, a guy who had been playing in wing T in California and then, managing to go through a state title run without throwing an interception in the playoffs, what kind of growth did you guys see out of him this season?
Well, first of all, Braden has a really high football IQ and a really good arm. And as he learned our offense, he got better and better every week. The first game we talked about the other day, the first game that he played in at the varsity level, we had to take him out and introduce him to the offensive lineman. They didn't know his name. He'd been in the school for about 5.5, 6 weeks, and he played on the JV. And he got thrown into the fire because of Brant being out because of contact tracing and COVID. So for him to go out and do what he's done as a quarterback in our offense, which is a pretty complicated offense, is very remarkable for a kid. And Caden can talk about what they see from the defensive side and what they see also.
Braden, he started out in school. He was kind of a quiet kid. But once he got into the varsity locker room and started hanging out with all the guys, he started becoming he became a Bearcat. And we've always told him, we're going to go get you a state championship. And he started working even harder, and it showed that he should be our starting quarterback.
Caden, just talk about winning this. How does it differ from other years?
Being a senior this whole week, it could be the fastest and the slowest week I've ever lived. But as a senior, it just means more. Last year, starting in the senior game or in the state game last year, it was fun. It was cool, but it doesn't mean near as much as it did this year. This year it's just different.
Coach, just to expound upon that, obviously a COVID year, this felt forever to the media. I'm sure it felt forever to you guys as well. Just talk about the challenges you had to overcome going all the way back to September. It's been a long season.
Yes, me that or Caden? Is that Caden or me?
Both, if you don't mind.
Caden, talk about that.
With COVID, I got in quarantine in the middle of the district season, out for 2 weeks. Luckily, we got games moved around, and we had to cancel one game, so I didn't get to miss a game. But with COVID, normal football season for us is about 5.5 months if we went to state. But this year without spring football, we'd start early in June. With a 7.5 month football season, it's been truly different. And early in the summer and in the spring, we had thought there's a possibility that we probably won't get to play. And for the seniors, it was depressing, but getting to play this season it's been awesome. And going to win a state championship in this type of year, it's undescribable.
For me, when I think about, people say, how special is it to win a state championship after with the COVID pandemic and all that? I compared it to winning an argument with your wife. It's really special when it happens, but you don't want to try it again.
Thank you.
Final questions? All right. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Caden. Congratulations.
Thank y'all.
And that'll end our press conference. Thanks, everybody. Oh, and these will live on our press conference page. If you need the link, feel free to email us